The cold wind rolled across the vast lands of Gaul, where thick forests stretched endlessly and rivers cut deep into the earth. Wild and free, this land was home to many tribes. The Gauls, who worshipped their gods, painted their faces for battle, and lived in wooden strongholds. Proud and fierce, they lived by their own rules. But in 58 BCE, their world would change, not by choice, but by the ambition of a man from far beyond their borders, Julius Caesar. Caesar was no ordinary Roman. He wasn't just a soldier. He had dreams of glory, of rising above the fragile Roman Republic, and Gaul. It was the key to that power. At first it began with diplomacy, but it quickly turned to war. The Helvetii, a migrating tribe, were Caesar's first target. He claimed their movement threatened Rome. Talks failed. Swords were drawn. The Roman legions marched with discipline, and though the Helvetii fought bravely, they were defeated. Caesar's first victory was recorded with pride. Next, Caesar turned to Ariovistus, a Germanic king who had crossed the Rhine. Claiming to protect Gaul, Caesar met him in battle. Roman tactics outmatched wild charges. Ariovistus fled, his army shattered. Caesar's fame in Rome soared. The Senate took notice, and so did his enemies. But Caesar wasn't stopping. He built roads, forts, and bridges. He made allies, broke resistors, and slowly, Gaul began to bend. His greatest challenge came from the Belgae in the north. In brutal conditions, mud, rain, and ambushes, the Romans pressed on. One by one, the Belgae fell. With each victory, Caesar wrote back to Rome. Not just reports, but carefully crafted stories. He painted himself as a hero, the Gauls as wild, and Rome as just. But behind the words were flames, screams, and ruin. As the war dragged on, a spark ignited. A young leader rose, Vercingetorix of the Arverni tribe. Strong, noble, and filled with vision, he had seen enough. While others gave up, he united the tribes. Whispering of freedom, he lit a fire across Gaul. In 53 BCE, the revolt began. Vercingetorix avoided open battles. He burned fields, destroyed bridges, and starved the Romans. Caesar, stretched thin and worn, finally caught up at Gergovia and lost. But Caesar regrouped. Vercingetorix fell back to Alesia, a fortress on a hill. Caesar arrived and built walls, 2 rings, trapping the enemy inside and their reinforcements outside. When the final assault came, chaos erupted from both sides. Night fell, and still the walls held. At last, Vercingetorix knew it was over. Dressed in full armor, he rode into the Roman camp. In silence, he laid down his sword. His dream ended in chains, and with him Gaul fell. The war changed more than just land. It changed history. Rome grew richer, Caesar stronger, his fame unmatched, his power feared. When he returned to Rome, the people cheered, but the Senate trembled. He was no longer just a general, he was a legend, hero to some, tyrant to others. The victory in Gaul didn't just expand Roman borders, it planted the seeds for the fall of the Republic and the rise of an empire. The Gauls lost their freedom, their pride, and their culture. But their story endures. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into history, leave a comment and tell us where you're watching from. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Untold History for more powerful stories from the past.